This is a very short and simple ritual, though many, if not most parts of a full Wiccan ritual are omitted. There seems to be a lack of ritual material for the solitary private practitioner who may not have access to a coven, a priestess, priest, or a collection of ritual tools. This is meant to provide a framework, either by itself, for example for a private full moon or a Sabbat, or around a spell or other magical work. It is intended to be a simple process that can be done in the privacy of a small room. Being skyclad is an option, otherwise wear loose, comfortable clothes such as pajamas, a nightshirt, etc. The ritual itself is intended to require only a brief amount of alone time. The altar for this can be a small table, basically a place to put the items used, preferably round. If there isn't one available, the floor will do, though this means that you'll probably have to sit or kneel down for the majority of the time. Set aside some food and drink for after the ritual. The implements used are 3 white candles, one larger or higher than the others if available, a single red candle, and a smaller one to light them with, incense if available or if not a scented candle, a cup with water, and a small dish of salt. The final tool is yourself, in place of a wand or ritual dagger. For the purposes of this ritual, you can simply use 2 fingers of your dominant hand. Be mindful throughout the process, including the altar setup and the offerings made afterward. Determine which direction is north, east, etc. Roughly, it doesn't have to line up exactly depending on the room. The largest white candle goes in the center of the altar as the source or prime aspect. The 2 other main candles on either side, one on the west side for the goddess, the other on the east for the god. The red candle for fire is placed just to the south of the center. The remaining items are placed on the altar within easy reach. The incense for air is to your right towards the east. The cup and the salt dish are placed next to each other just in front of you, the cup on the left for water and the salt on the right for earth. Light the small candle and use it to light the source candle first, then the goddess candle, and then the god candle. Finally, light the fire candle, and then extinguish the small candle and put it aside. Stand to the south of the altar, facing to the north. For the parts of the ritual where you are standing still, fold your arms across your chest, fingers touching your shoulders. Open by quietly or silently chanting, "Here is the goddess, maid, mother, and crone. Here is the god who calls to his own. We, your children, year after year, will love with our hearts and live without fear." Dip your fingers into the water and shake a drop off away from the altar to your left, casting out all negative influences 3 times, saying, "Spirits of the water, creatures of the west, I cast out from you all anger, fear, and doubt." Draw a pentagram on the water surface, starting with the first point toward the center of the altar, then lower right, upper left, across to the right, and down to the lower left point, then to the middle, and hold there, saying, "I bless and consecrate you with love, laughter, and trust." Moving to the salt, draw the pentagram again and hold in the center, saying, "I bless and consecrate thee with peace, joy, and kindness." Put 3 pinches of salt into the water, one at a time, as you say, "Earth joins to water, as we all join together, as we all join with the gods." Take up the cup. Facing the altar to consecrate the space, dip your fingers in the cup and sprinkle a little to the east, then touch it to the center of your chest, and then to the west, and then finally to the north. Then raise the cup in front of you and salute. Replace the cup in front of you next to the salt again. Take up the incense and light it from the red candle. Air and fire, come together as thought and desire. Wave the smoke from the incense to the east, then towards yourself, then to the west, then towards the north, and then raise it up towards the center and salute. Replace the incense on the altar. Stand with your arms crossed across your chest, fingers touching your shoulders, and hold there for a moment. Then say, "As the triple goddess, all 3 entwined, maid, mother, and crone, ancient as time, by word and will I invoke and call upon thee, loving mother of us all, bringer of all fruitfulness. By seed and root, by stem and bud, by leaf and flower and fruit, by life and love do I invoke thee to join in this rite, and bid thee hail." At this point, if there is a particular magical goal or spell to be done, it should be done now. Traditionally, the main purpose is simply to show reverence and commune with the gods, pausing to meditate on this. Once finished, make a small bow to acknowledge the god and the goddess toward the center of the altar, thanking them for their presence. Acknowledge the 4 elements, thanking them for their presence as follows. As you depart for your sacred realms, I bid thee hail and farewell. Then, to close the ritual, say, I am air, I am fire, I am water, I am earth, I am all things are me, I am the goddess's perfect child, I am free. Stamp your foot to acknowledge the closing of the ritual. After the ritual, extinguish the candles either with a snuffer or by hand, carefully, starting with the fire candle, then the god, goddess, and then finally the source candle. Do not blow the candles out with your breath unless you have to. Afterward, eat and drink, keeping a share aside to offer to the gods. You can put it aside until you get a chance to leave the share outside. So mote it be.